All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Stephanie Taylor. The two of us are ready here to do our daily highlight. Today is Friday, April 24th, and we'll go ahead and jump right in. So, Stephanie, this is the Sterling chart, right? You want to walk us through it a little bit?
Yeah, so good morning. This is the familiar to many people Avondale-Sterling chart that was published in ASHRAE in 1985. So clearly, the sweet spot for optimal relative humidity between 40 and 60% has been around for a while. And also, Graham and I have been talking about the challenges in keeping your relative humidity up to 40, or getting it up to 40%, so you can be in that zone. However, as we approach springtime and summer, and some of you who live in Florida or in other climates might be thinking, you know, our indoor relative humidity is frequently over 60%. And it was interesting to me because yesterday I was speaking with NASA Glenn Research Facility, and they had a webinar that I was speaking at. And the participants were from Florida, Ohio, Texas, all over the US. And the group in Florida said that they followed their NASA facility guidelines, and that the requirement was to stay within 40 to 60%. But they said, given that they're in Florida, they often had indoor humidity over 60%, so they had to dehumidify. So thankfully, Condor's also got that angle of the vapor control equation under control. So I'm going to turn it over to Graham, who is the dehumidifier expert of this duo.
Thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, so for quite some time, Condor has been the expert in humidification. And, you know, we are really the market leader in that aspect. But recently, actually just last week, for North America, we have now launched a desiccant dehumidifier as well. So this will allow us to provide complete humidity control across the board. So I'll just take you through a couple examples of how dehumidification works. So there's two types of dehumidifiers, and one is a condensing dehumidifier. This is what you probably think of when you think of putting a dehumidifier in your basement or at possibly a pool for an indoor pool area. But basically what it does is it cools down the air temperature enough until you hit dew point on your cooling coil. This will have that airstream pass through. Any moisture in that air will turn into liquid water, be collected either in a drain or you know, some sort of reservoir that you have to empty. And then you basically heat that air back up to your target temperature, and now you have less moisture in it. So that's a condensing type dehumidifier. What Condor has gone ahead and launched is a desiccant dehumidifier. This is where you have a process air passed through a desiccant wheel. And this desiccant wheel is made out of fiberglass injected with silica gel. So silica gel is those little packets you get with your clothing or when you have any sort of shipment, basically. And they're highly absorbent. So passing that process air through there sucks moisture out of the air and does it adiabatically, actually. So you get a bit of a heat gain off of it as well. So now you got a bunch of moisture in that wheel and you need to get rid of it. So there's a second airstream that's sealed up and completely sealed from the first airstream. You take that airstream and you heat it up really hot, over 100 degrees Celsius or over like 200 Fahrenheit. And you pass it through and it draws the moisture back off the wheel. And then you exhaust that air somewhere else. So this process has no liquid water in it at all. And this is the type we've launched. So this is our new dehumidifier unit, our RDA Series. And it's for industrial purposes. So this is quite a large unit. It wouldn't be for home, but it would be for industries, cold storages, that kind of thing. Or possibly hospitals, whatever else. And just kind of recommended between the two different technologies so you have an idea when to use which one. In high humidity, high temperature scenarios, condensing dehumidifiers are more efficient. But when you start getting more into kind of living territory, so comfortable ranges of around 72% or below, and around 50% RH, a desiccant dryer becomes more effective. And as you get into even colder processes that aren't really effective, or that we don't need to worry about being around so much at home, a desiccant dryer is the only option. So for hockey rinks, for cold storages, for food, those kind of scenarios, a desiccant dryer is the only option to do, and a condensing won't even work. So that's just kind of a quick walkthrough of that, and just a promotion for Condair. As a whole for North America, we are now doing both sides of the equation to provide complete humidity control. So thanks for joining us, guys.
Graham. Thanks for that excellent review.
Yeah, and make sure to keep tuning in Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday at 10:30. Okay, thanks.
Have a good weekend.